Takedownman is here. I gotta post that clip. Why'd you eat it? I love it. Like that made me smile.
Where it came from?
We live in a small town.
Why'd you eat it?
We live in a small town.
It was so cute. Why'd you eat it? That was cute. Authentically, Dr. Phil. I really liked that. All right. So I hope y'all can see me okay. I've got Takedownman on here. Add
Can you hear me?
to the stream.
Can you hear me all right?
Hey, we can hear you. How are you?
Good, good. I'm actually out in Samoa, but I figured I'd take enough time to come on here and clear things up. That's for sure.
First of all, this one's a tough one. First of all, I want to say thank you for being here and taking the time. Everyone who's not familiar, I hope our connection goes okay. At least I don't need to be crystal clear, just if they can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you all right.
This is Takedownman. This was a gentleman that was on Dr. Phil's show with me. And I'll let you, well, actually, let me go in to say, when that whole thing happened, he slammed me into the door and I had to call the police one day because he thought I was having an affair with you.
Yeah, I heard. Even though he knew good and well that we never were, because he was in the Twitter group along with everyone else. Because there was Diane.
And what Twitter group is that?
It was called Truthfully Trashy. I got added to it one day. And is what it was. There was like Sam Tefler was in there. Uber Goober was in there. MFW was in there. ATX Mandy was in there. Sean was in there. But Sean was, instead of actually being under his name, it had like 2 little flowers as a name with no picture on it. Of course, Diane Patchen was in there because she was Black Pepper. Like Wendy, One Win, like everybody was in there. And this was like months before you went on Dr. Phil. Like that was the whole point of the group, was to get you on Dr. Phil.
So One Win, who called me on the show, was in this hate group?
Yeah. Yeah, she was actually in the group too. So is what they said. They asked if I knew how to manipulate, like Twitter messages. And I had a message from you, but it wasn't anything like you were talking about. It was the one where you were like, hey, let's make peace, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather be making money. Like, I'd rather be doing good shit on here rather than, going to war all day with you. So I took that. And that's what I did. I copied and pasted it inside of a Google message to send a Google message. And it let me manipulate everything. I never had any news of you. They all just agreed to say that we had news of you. And that you're, and that you had sent them to me and this and that you wanted to like hook up with me and so on. That's literally what it was. So like for months, Sean and Mandy was talking, like we all knew it. Like we all knew they were talking in this group. Like we knew.
Can they hear us? Can they hear us? Do they have a good connection?
I have no idea. I can't see the chat in this. I'm on my phone. So.
Wow. Okay.
But people are sending me messages on Twitter saying they can hear. So.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much though, whenever you copy and paste the messages from Twitter into the Google on a computer, you can actually manipulate what it says. So that way it actually looks like, y'all were sending messages back and forth. So that's what we did. And everybody just agreed to say that you would send me nude pictures whenever you did. Now, I was having a good time and having fun with it. I mean, we were trolling each other. I mean, me and you back and forth. Like I was doing the make memes not war thing with you and talking about we were going to get married and this and that, just playing around. But it got serious whenever they said that they had called CPS on Becca. Like I have proof of that. Like I kind of went off on everybody because they thought that shit was funny. And I didn't find that funny at all. I was like, it's one thing for me to go, after you. It's another thing to go after your kid. Like that's completely different. I'm not cool with that.
So all that time he knew.
Oh yeah.
So when he slammed me in the door and called me an asshole and hurt me and I had to call the police.
Yeah.
And then he was telling them I was crazy.
On the part of that show, all right, on the part of the show, whenever I came up and he was like, no, it's easy to manipulate the scroll thing. Whenever he was talking about that, that's how he knew, because I had told him how I did it. I told him in that group how I did it. And then they took it and they showed it. They showed it so that way they could get on Dr. Phil. Now, the actual thing was supposed to be, honestly, I was supposed to be on there with you, but I was going to punk Sean because I didn't like him because he called me a grifter and he was talking a bunch of shit. I had no issue with you. I was actually going to wink and smile at you, but I was going to like really go ham on him. That was the whole purpose. And then they pissed me off and was like, oh, well, we're just going to do a phone thing with you. Wendy, we've all talked to Wendy's going to go on the show. And then like Sean gave them some kind of info about a roommate of yours or something that committed suicide. And he was like, yeah, if you talk about that, she'll lose her shit. Like it'll make her look fucking stupid as shit on TV. Now, I don't know who the roommate is. I have no idea. I don't know nothing about that.
But a friend of mine, the woman that they said made that horrible rumor about wasn't true.
Yeah, but he said like, whenever she committed suicide or whatever, you took some kind of tiara or some shit or crown shit of hers, and that's why you would wear it to like rub it in that you killed her. So like, yeah, like that's what he was telling all of us on there. No, I didn't quite believe that because everybody talks shit. I mean, they do.
What was his point? What was his
But
point? What, so he could have
that was
his
why Wendy
relationship
brought
with
that up. That was why Wendy
So-
brought that up, because he had brought that up in the group.
But he had the affair with that girl since then. I know that.
Yeah, like he was talking to Mandy for like ever before that. I mean, you were like holding on to him and shit, and he was like, well, she won't let me leave without me going to jail or some shit. So I really need a good reason. And like at the time, like we all thought he was a victim, and come to find out he wasn't. Like he wasn't even close to a victim. I mean, he was beating on you and everything. Like you had a couple videos up, and I don't know why you took them down, but you did have a couple videos up that showed like him trying to kick in doors and shit on you and trying to beat on you and snatching you and shit. But like you would always remove it and try to make him look like a good fucking dude. You should have left it up or at least privated it so
No,
you
he
could
made
put it
me
back
delete
up.
them.
I
He
believe
made
that.
me delete them.
I believe that
didn't
because I
delete
seen
them.
it firsthand whenever he would do
The hell
that
I
shit
went
while you
through.
were on live. I remember whenever you told on his fucking drug dealer whenever the cops were there. And you were talking about his meth dealer. I remember that. I mean, they may not because a lot of people that are here are new. But I remember you saying that right in front of the police. Talk about his drug dealer and shit. Like I remember all that shit. I remember Mandy. Mandy was trying to put the heat on you though, because her and Sean were together. And if you recall, Shoot the Shit was actually going after her for selling Suboxone to people on YouTube. I still got the video of that, of Shoot the Shit saying that was Sam and everybody else. But she was trying to get the heat off of her back because she had cheated on her husband. She was selling the Suboxone, and everybody was starting to like go in on her. So she figured it would be easier to get the heat off of her and put it on you because she was with Sean and he was willing to go in against you. See, there's a lot that people don't know that's new to this shit. Fucking Paula included. You know, like she thinks
Why?
Mandy's such a good person, but she's not.
Why won't Paula leave me alone then? Why every single day? Why is it every single day? Because I know behind the closed doors when he was like, she's going to come after you, she's going to get you, and all the things that he would say to me to make me live in fear and to make me feel paranoid. I didn't make a woman kill herself.
Exactly. And I know it too. We all knew in that group that you didn't. But Sean said like that was the one thing that would get you to like lose your shit on Dr. Phil. And I didn't want to go with that. So they picked Wendy instead because Wendy was like, I'll say it. She was the one that was like, I'll say it. I don't care. I didn't want to say that.
That was how, when he had me involuntarily committed.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I could tell by the end because I know you well enough to know whenever you're faking and whenever you're not. And whenever you lost it at the end, I knew you weren't faking. I knew you weren't faking that.
I had
like
nothing
honestly,
to do
like
with it. Sin
like
writes,
you were really upset.
Sin writes, you may not have had the gun, but you certainly were the trigger. I had nothing to do with what that person did. I videotaped a woman who, for liability purposes, and he took that video off my phone, and then we went over it way after.
Sean said that girl tried to kill herself a lot prior. Like she had made a few attempts before she even knew you. Sean told us that.
Yeah, and that they make me look like.
Yeah, like the person that did it or had something to do with it, but that wasn't the case. Sean told us like way before. You know? Like, and secondly, I mean, let's just be honest. Somebody who's literally that suicidal, it's not going to take one person to make them do that. I'm sorry, it's not. Like we all know that everybody wants a scapegoat, everybody wants entertainment, so they come at you for it. Because Sean made that.
The other group that came after me made me suicidal.
Yeah, I know, because they fuck with you daily, all day, every day, day, night, everything. Now, whenever I came at you, I didn't do it.
He would keep me up awake at night. He wouldn't let me sleep.
Yeah.
All the things.
I mean, like mine, like
what I'm hearing from
trying
you,
to like flirt and shit, be dumb. That's how mine always was. Mine was always like flirting and being dumb with you. Like it wasn't like mean.
He was in that Trisha hate group, and he was pulling the strings.
Yeah, it was called like truthfully trashy or some shit.
And he
I mean, I could pull up some of them because I put it out and they all got mad. Whenever I put the proof out there on Twitter,
still?
Oh yeah, I still got a few of them. Whenever I put the fucking shit out there on Twitter, they all got mad as shit and was like, you know what? Like, it's not cool that you're putting this out there. This was a group effort and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'm the one getting thrown under the bus for it because I ended up on there looking like an asshole and everybody came after me. And I was like, no, 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 no. This is all of us. Now, if the people who wouldn't have been in that group would have like kept their mouth shut, like I wouldn't have said nothing. But whenever you throw me under the bus, no, fuck that. No. And yeah, I do keep screenshots of everything. And yeah, I will throw you under the bus with me if you try to put me under the bus. It's that simple. Like people don't understand that.
Did he
Like,
ever admit to not being good to me, like hurting me in any way? Did he
no,
ever?
no, he always played
Really?
victim. Always played victim.
Well,
Like, what messed with me personally though is he was supposed to be like a father to your daughter. You know what I mean? He's supposed
yeah.
to be a dad to her, and he
And
was
then,
cool with them calling CPS.
mm,
And I was like, dude, she's like 16 or 17. They're not going to do shit anyways, but just fuck her up. Like they're not going to take her out of the home. She's too old, you know? And that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, Becca's too old to be taken out of the home, first off. But secondly, she's doing good in school. She's
so
talking
wait a
about the
minute.
military, whatever. Like,
Why would he let that happen? Why would
see,
he?
I don't
Why would
know.
he do
And to
this
this
the
day,
whole
I still
thing?
don't know. Because
Why did he join this group?
that was what made me get pissed off with that group. Because I even sent you something warning you. And I don't know whether you believe me or not, because we were back and forth at the time. But I
But I
was like,
didn't.
hey, look, there's some people in a group that just called CPS on you. Be careful, watch your ass. I'm like, I know you don't like me and I get it, but at the same time, that shit's not cool. I wrote you that, you know, before the show, before any of it, because to me, that really bothered me. Because, like, I don't know you personally. I don't know your daughter personally, but she seemed to be very level headed at the time. She seemed to be doing good in school. She wanted to go into the military and shit. Like, I was watching you enough to know what was going on. I was a fucking troll. That's what trolls do. They watch people shit and they get to know you, you know? But at the same time, that was really fucked
Why?
up to
Why
me.
would he do that to me?
I don't care how much I
Why?
dislike
Why?
my
Like,
ex.
I was right.
Like, I would never call CPS on her. That would be the
But
one thing
I
I would
was his
never do.
wife. I was his
Yeah, I
wife.
know.
You can hear his hate and his discontent that he
Oh, yeah.
did not love me and he was hurting me. And I tried to tell everybody what he was doing to me, and they were
I
telling
knew
me
what
I
he
was
was doing.
paranoid. And
Like
when
I
he'd sit
said,
next to me,
it'd be live videos of it. But of course, they would get taken down.
oh,
I remember the one time he grabbed you by the back of your neck and said something to you. And you're like, oh, he's just playing. He's just kidding. But like, I seen your eyes were like big as your fucking head. Like you were scared. Like that to me was like, I don't think he's playing. But everybody else was like, oh, Sean's funny. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I think he's a little freaking sadistic with you. Like y'all were toxic like to each other, but like you were more like
toxic.
just shit talking. He was like the big time, like
It was a
grabbing
reaction.
you and snatching you and yanking you and pulling your hair. And then like the next thing I know, like within like minutes, the live would go off, it would be deleted and you'd restart the live all over. And
Mm-hmm.
you would have like tears in your eyes, but you'd be like kind of holding them back and shit. And it was like, oh, it's just crocodile tears. It's like, no, she was actually crying legitimate tears right before, but it's gone. I mean, like I said, it's just, it's real what people don't realize. Like the shit really did go down like that. Like, you never sent me nudes. Like I've never seen a nude on you until like you went on OnlyFans and somebody sent it to me and was like, hey, look what she's doing now. I was like, okay, good for her. I was like, shit, she's been working out. Fuck, do what you do. But
When he
like,
slammed me into the door and really hurt me, that was the worst thing. Like, not one of the worst things, because there were lots of worse things. But when
yeah,
he said he accused me of having an affair with you, I've never cheated. I am not a
no,
cheater.
you never sent me anything like that ever. If anything, and I'll be real with everybody, Trisha is not even the least bit attracted to me. Okay. I actually got her to leave me alone by making flirtatious videos because I tried to come back at her like she was coming at me, like all crazy and shit. Where, you was like, you want to see crazy? Crazy don't fucking sleep. I remember that shit. And I was like, oh, she's cute. I was like, I'm gonna start going back at her. Let's see what she does. And like you came back
Why did
at
I
me and
say,
like you
hold
went
on,
back and
the
down.
good question that first stressed mommy, one stressed mommy says, seriously, TT, if it was this bad, why did you stay and keep going back? You had your
Why
own
does
place
any
the whole
woman stay
time.
though?
Exactly. It takes an average of 8 times for a woman in domestic violence to actually leave successfully without
I was
death.
gonna say, don't like a lot of them die? Isn't that like the most dangerous call for
Mm-hmm.
a cop to go to?
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought anyways. That was like the ones like the cops are like fretting to have to go to because they're the most dangerous situations. It's domestic violence situations, which is why you can't be a cop even if you have a misdemeanor domestic violence on your shit because you are considered a dangerous person.
So then the question that I have for you is, why did you go on Dr. Phil and say that I texted you those things when you knew that I didn't?
To be honest, at the time, like I was believing what everybody was saying. I mean, I was. I mean, until like I really got to looking at shit and going back over conversations because that thread would stay hopping like 24/7 in that Twitter group. So I didn't see everything on there because I would go to sleep, I'd be doing YouTube, and then I just hop back on every now and then and look at it. But and I mean at the time, I mean, let's just be honest, I was a fucking troll and I didn't like myself. I was like 475 pounds, which I mean isn't an excuse. It's not. It's not even close to an excuse, but that was really the reason. Like I just didn't like myself. So like in order to stay popular and shit on YouTube, I guess is the best way to put it. Like I was just going along with what was like getting the views. But to be honest, I mean, now, yeah, I kind of regret it. But like at the same time, like I'm glad you and him aren't together because
Let me
he's a
ask
piece of
you
shit.
this question. Do you know how they emailed each other pretending to be me to get me falsely arrested?
Yeah, I know how. I mean, it's
happened?
literally Sean hopping on while you're sleeping and shit. And he had access to your account. And he would write back, and they would write back, and he would write back, and they would write back. And then, like, he'd get off of it so that way you wouldn't know, and you get the blame for it. It's really fucking simple. I mean, Sean was like, he wasn't looking for like one reason to leave. He was trying to get enough so that way, one, he wouldn't have to pay alimony again because he had said he had to pay it before. He didn't want to have to pay you alimony. He didn't want to have to pay the separation shit. He didn't want to have to pay anything. He wanted you to be out on the street. He said something about he didn't want you getting the VA benefits. He wanted Mandy to get them, like everything. And he needed a lot of shit, though, in order to do that, or a judge would give it to him. Like, it would give him the alimony to pay. He would make you keep getting the benefits. He would make him pay for your medical stuff. And he didn't want to have to do any of that. He wanted it to be Mandy's. So in order to do that, he had to make you look like really bad. Like, really bad.
So it was me against all of them, and in the end,
pretty much, yeah.
Everything.
I mean, to be honest, like there was like, all right, y'all. So literally, like I didn't even know who Trisha was until I can't even remember that chick's name anymore. But it was some chick sent me a video.
He told me when I was in my mental illness.
Of you in the shower.
He said you were a something operative that had a dossier on him, takedownman, you were this, whatever, and like I was on.
That was like a government operative and shit coming after y'all and trying to be like some CIA person or whatever. Like,
so he said you were going to come after me and I was going to, and that while he's gone, something about how something was going to happen to me and it's going to look like a suicide. Yeah.
See, I don't know nothing about that part. I know about the CIA part and all that bullshit that he was like trying to twist you into believing and shit and all that. Cause he had told me about that. He had tried to say like, it was like he was making you believe it was some kind of government conspiracy against you and like they were going to come after you and they were going to hurt you and they were going to take you out and this and that. But I mean, honestly, I mean, think about that. I was almost 500 pounds. I mean, shit, what am I going to do?
And at that point,
but I mean,
there, the question was, so it went so far as him knowing that I was going to be arrested. That's why he was right there to bail me out.
Yeah. So he could look like the good husband. And then whenever it was time, like it was to the point of getting you on a public show so that way he could use that to divorce you and say that.
Why did he stay? Every time I told him to leave, I told him to leave. Why did he stay? I told him to leave all the time. Why did he stay?
Because he would have had to pay. I mean, that's just the realness of it. He would have had to pay. He would have had to pay for alimony. He would have had to take care of you. He would have had to pay your medical shit, like everything. So like, that's why. And I mean, I'm more than happy to send you like I mean, it's not a whole lot of screenshots, but if you screenshots.
That explains a lot of stuff.
But I mean, I grabbed those screenshots right before they, like deleted the group and shit and like kicked everybody out because I didn't want to be the one blamed for calling CPS on Becca because I did.
And he yelled at me and the things that he did prior to that.
And for him to ever accuse you of talking to me, like he knew better. He knew how much you disliked me. He knew that you weren't attracted to me at all. Like we all knew it.
Yeah. Slide into my DMs. I still don't like you like that.
I get it. It's all good.
Now that I'm single.
It's all good. I feel you because people will probably talk shit now that I'm on here. So I feel you on that, and it's cool. Like she's not attracted to me, y'all. Like honestly, she's not. Like she's made that known since like the beginning.
So now Chatter says this makes no sense. When she kicked him out, how could he have prepared for that? He didn't expect me to kick him out because she was right there. Every time his phone dinged, that was that bitch.
Yeah, that was Mandy every time. Him and Mandy had been having a relationship. I mean, it was online, and one time she did go to see him. He told you he went to go see his wife or some shit, and he was supposed to be down there with her, but he was actually with Mandy.
What if I
like his ex-wife or some shit?
Yeah.
So yeah. But he was actually with
Mom says Trisha slept with 2 police officers. Oh shit, I would have filmed that. If I did, I would have put it on film. Oh my gosh. While married.
I mean, if you slept with 2 police officers, you did. Who cares? I mean, you're grown, so I mean.
While married. I wish.
I don't know. I don't know what that's got to do with the price of tea in China, but yeah.
She's just trying to make me look a particular way, but that's not true. Gosh. All right. Well, I guess we should wrap this up, but stay in touch, please. I appreciate you being here. Well, I don't know how long this stream will be able to stay up, but.
Well, that's fine. But I mean, this is long overdue. So that's why I was like, fuck it, I'll hop on. That's fine. It's been very long overdue.
Thank you for
Really has.
vindicating me.
Oh, no problem. All right. Well, y'all take it easy. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.